Welcome back to some of the best stories from r/TalesFromTechSupport. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's take a look at the first story. It's called Panic Mode. I've been out of the office for about a month, so the day-to-day happenings such as construction and desk moves etc. have not been communicated to me. This morning I got to the office at 7:30 AM and one of the facilities guys comes up to me and casually says, "The electricians are cutting power to the server room sometime today. Enter panic mode now." I state that they can't just turn off the power to the data center. There's a process that needs to happen for downtime. People need to be notified. Other buildings need to prepare for continued manufacturing without access to work orders. I start messaging management, asking what the heck is happening. Management asks if we can run on the generator while power is off. I have no answer for that, so I run off to find the facilities manager and electricians to ask. The electrician informs me that they did not need to turn off the electricity in the server room, that they turned off the electricity for a small portion of the front office, just long enough to move that breaker up a row, so they can install the breakers for the new AC unit, and that they have already done it and my data center is safe. If anyone needs me, I will be hiding under my desk, softly sobbing from this traumatic experience. The next story is called Work Automation. Since the day I started at the small company, I noticed their workstations were horribly out of date and reaching end of life for support and deprecation. I worked with a developer to get our in-house software to run on new machines, with much more CPU and GPU to run everything. This was only in an effort to prevent or avoid being backed into obsolescence. But the development team saw an opportunity to optimize the application. Fast forward about a year, when the project is complete, and the application can now finish its processing in 10 to 40 times less time, depending on difficulty. We have everyone on new systems that run like a dream, and everyone is thrilled with how much more we can do in a day. The department head sends a wonderful email about the new time it takes to process. The backlog of work is now quickly shrinking for this team, and the department head has to stop calling in per diem workers. Slowly we fire employees, as there's not enough work for them. Fast forward another year, and we fired some 20 people, about 27% of our company. I was friends with many of them. I still feel bad 5 years later. The third story is called Not a Good Code Wreck. Here I am, another calm morning before the storm. I sip a ray at my soda and take a bite of donut. The queue is clear and the emails are quiet. Then, as is to be expected, the phone rang. I clear my throat and pick up the receiver with a cheerful, "Hello, how can I help you?" "Good morning, my computer won't connect to the internet. We run through some basic troubleshooting. Have you restarted the computer? Is the cable plugged in? Are the dummy lights on? Is your computer turned on?" Still nothing. So I resign myself to a brisk walk down the hall to see what's going on. As I enter the room, I begin double checking everything we talked about over the phone. The cable is plugged into the computer. The indicator lights are on, but they keep flickering out for a second. Seeing this, I begin tracing the cable back to where it's plugged in. This room is set up terrible, so the Ethernet cable is run around the room, so the person can have their desk where they want it. As I trace the cord, I find out that it goes through a closet. Not a network closet, but a closet, and then out the other side and into the wall jack. I go to check the connection and notice the cable is tight, really tight, like I can't move it an inch tight. The effects of my soda start to take effect and the connections are forming. I open up the closet and find the culprit. There are codes hanging from the Ethernet cable. We are talking big, heavy codes. The poor cable was under so much strain that it was being ripped apart. I quickly removed the codes, making an internal joke about getting a load balancer for all the traffic on this line, and then made the person aware that Ethernet doesn't make for a good code wreck. Once the RAID was removed, everything started working again, and I was off to finish my breakfast. The next story is called No Conference for You. Our company HQ building has big conference rooms. Despite not being in the events or hosting business at all, we sometimes rent those out if we don't need them ourselves. Only B2B, we only offer little service, but that makes for a fair rate, all usually easygoing, not much work and earns a few extra bucks. The date this story took place was one such time. A company that had rented our conference rooms before had booked them again, but this time for a completely different occasion, hence other guests in our house. Regarding technical equipment and support, the rules were simple. We as the host provide you with one high quality projector per room, one HDMI cable, one audio cable if you want to use the room speaker system, and one Wi-Fi voucher for each of the devices people need to present from. Everything other than that is your own business as a guest. Last year's autumn, when this happened, both the IT team and our facility department were very short on staff, thanks to a bad stomach flu going around. Preparing the conference rooms for renters hasn't been my duty for years, but due to the staff situation and still knowing how to do it, I helped out. Usually our main janitor prepares the room layout, and our internal catering woman stays on standby for the guests, but both were sick. The only option to fill in their positions on short notice was to borrow Lucy, an apprentice from another department. She was fresh from school, had only started her apprenticeship a few weeks ago, and didn't mind doing something completely different for a day. Naturally, she needed instructing, and some help with her newly assigned duties. It took longer than usual, but together we made sure everything was perfectly prepared in time for our guests. Prior to their arrival, I had briefed her to call me personally if the guests require any IT help before I had to leave. Since I passed the conference area on the way through the building a little later on, I checked on Lucy and the guests. Quite a few had already arrived, but everything so far was good. Projector and sound worked. She felt comfortable to handle the job. Everything was fine. Half an hour passes by. Then I received the first call from Lucy. The guests wanted to know where they could get Wi-Fi vouchers. My bad. Forgot to tell her. I sent her to the front desk to fetch one per device the guests need for their presentations. 10 more minutes pass. Suddenly, another call. Lucy, sounding strangely nervous. Could you please come down? The guests need help with the Wi-Fi. Since I'd never interacted with her before today, I couldn't quite place if the tone of her voice indicated a problem, or if she was just a little insecure and stressed now. Something felt off though. Sure, don't worry, I'll be there in a few minutes. Just gotta finish something real quick. Upon entering the hallway to the conference rooms, I could already hear an irritated woman's voice, heavily berating somebody. Not a good sign. Worried now, I picked up my pace and turned around the final corner, only to find poor little Lucy cornered by a suited woman in her 40s, whose voice I had heard, absolutely barking at her about not delivering what they paid for. Lucy was visibly shaking a little, probably getting close to a panic attack. After hearing my footsteps, her eyes immediately made contact with mine, looking anxiously for help. Sharply, I said, "Excuse me? What? No, who the heck are you? I'm from IT, and here to help you with the Wi-Fi issue Lucy has contacted me about. What can I do for you?" The woman still had a very angry tone. We were promised Wi-Fi vouchers in the lease contract for the room, but she, pointing her finger directly at Lucy, almost stabbing her in the eye, refuses to hand out any. Lucy, seemingly at the verge of tears now, "But I gave you one for your laptop, your tablet and your guest speaker's laptop." The woman was now shouting down at Lucy again. "And what about the others? We have over 100 people here, and everyone needs Wi-Fi." The words she used really hurt, and this new, unexpected toxic situation became too much to bear. Tears welled up in Lucy's eyes. Before seeing this, I already had more than enough of this woman's behavior, but now I snapped. This had to stop. "Hey, stop, calm down. Keep those insults to yourself. Where are your manners? Back off of her. She's just doing her job and following policy." The woman turned to me, cocky look on her face and maximum disdain in her voice. "Who do you think you are, telling me what to say or do? Huh? And what stupid policy? We were promised Wi-Fi, and that's what we are getting from you. The contract clearly states the IT policy for external guests, which," she cut me off, "don't care. You two drones are utterly useless and should get fired. Get me the manager in charge. Now. Alright, as you wish. Be right back. With that, the woman stormed off, back into the conference room. I gestured Lucy to come with me, and she immediately followed, glad to get away and barely keeping it together. We made our way around the corner, back to the elevators, when I stopped and put my hand on one of Lucy's shoulders, getting her to look up at me. I'm so sorry you were treated like that. Are you okay? Lucy nodded and took a deep breath, slowly regaining her composure. I continued walking with her. Listen, you don't have to accept this sort of behavior, neither as an apprentice nor as anyone else. Feel free to simply walk away next time and report to our manager. Okay, I will. Don't let those hurtful words get to you. Forget everything she said. You were doing a great job, really. I mean it, and I am very proud of you standing your ground. We reached the elevators and entered one. I pushed the button to the executive floor. Where are we going now? My office. At least, I will. You go fetch a cup of hot chocolate or whatever you like from the machine next to the elevators. It's free. Have a seat on the sofa then. I'll be back in a few minutes. Lucy looked confused, but complied. Meanwhile, I ran through the adjacent hallway door and into my office. Since I knew in advance I'd help get the conference room ready due to filling in for the missing sysadmin in my team, but had an important meeting in the afternoon, I had changed from my slacks into jeans earlier, which I keep in my wardrobe for such occasions, and left my suit jacket and tie by my desk. Now I reverted those changes, made a few quick phone calls, and returned to Lucy, all dressed up. Her eyes grew wide. This question might sound stupid now. Sorry, but who are you exactly? I smiled at her. I do work in IT, but I'm the CIO. Since so many of my people are sick right now, I'm filling in for them. That's why I helped you set up the room instead of Ben, who'd usually do this. And now, since that lovely woman down there asked for management attention, we'll teach her a lesson in respect. Follow me. With that, we made our way down to the conference rooms again. I mockingly straightened my tie and suit jacket. Lucy, would you please be so kind as to inform our guest that the manager in charge is here now? She grinned and did as requested. Immediately, I could hear a faint, "Finally, everything takes too long around here," before the woman hurried through the door towards me. When she recognized me, she froze in her tracks. Good morning. I'm the CEO of this company, and therefore the manager in charge regarding your issue, who you demanded to speak. Calmly, I walked towards her, reached into my jacket and gave her my business card. The woman took it, but not being able to throw anybody under the bus, apparently left her without a plan and speechless. Now that I got your attention, I have 3 things to tell you. 1. You stated that you were promised Wi-Fi and that you want to get what you pay for. You signed a contract stating that you get Wi-Fi access for every device needed for your presentations, which we delivered. We neither can nor will provide access for all attendees of the event. Our network, our rules. 2. Your condescending, rude tone is bad enough in itself, but verbally abusing and intimidating employees, especially a minor like in this case, absolutely won't be tolerated around here. I expect a sincere apology of yours to Lucy and myself. She slowly found the ability to speak again. Okay, I apologize. That was not very professional of me, but I interrupted her. That's a massive understatement and doesn't sound terribly sincere to me. Furthermore, point 3. Verbal assault and intimidation are against our house rules, which we strictly enforce. And you agreed to adhere to it by signing the rental contract. This alone warrants your personal removal from our premises. Also, you apparently invited more than 100 people, which you weren't allowed to do, and violates fire code rules, since the maximum room capacity is exactly 100, as stated in the contract. Due to now multiple breaches of contract and said fire code violations, I herewith have to ask you and your guests to leave. By the way, according to internal consultation, we have not the slightest further interest in renting out our rooms to your company, considering the circumstances. Please gather your people, personal belongings, and then leave our premises. She, of course, threw a massive hissy fit, questioned my authority some more, and needed to be guided out by security. The other people from her company were confused, and understandably not amused. but cooperated in a civil manner. A week later, she had her lawyer send us a letter claiming unfair treatment and requesting a refund, which gave our lawyer a big laugh and the opportunity to lay out to their counterpart how they breached the contract in great detail. That was the last we heard from them, thankfully. The fifth story is called Support Never Ends. About 15 years ago, I was a bright-eyed coder still in college. My family was poor. Thankfully, so was my country with people experienced in coding, so I often did some freelance jobs to afford a living in my college city. One of the companies I coded for was one dedicated to importing metal, cutting it based on the customer's preferences, and selling it. I had coded them a simple network program, automating the preferences of the supervisors in the office and supervisors in the workshop, then storing the data in their accounting program. 15 years later, I received a call from their boss. "We need you here in the city urgently. Your program stopped working." "Excuse me? I do not recognize the number you are calling from." "Which program of mine?" "I am X. I'm speaking about the program you made for our company." "The one I made in 2000? You are still using it?" 2001. "Yes, we are. But today, in the morning, the program stopped working." Oh, nostalgia. I decided to troubleshoot quickly, learning about the details. Thankfully, I have archives for all my codes. Even my first ever program coded in BASIC. Of course, even coded over a decade ago, a program doesn't suddenly stop working in a day. I try to find out what has changed. Nothing seems to have changed since yesterday. Maybe a blackout? Changes in network? Changes in any hardware? None. It will indeed take time. Alright, boss. I guess I can't solve it from afar. I seriously doubt it's a problem in my code, but just in case, I will provide you with the source codes. It's possibly a simple problem in hardware, and you wouldn't want to pay me for that. A local tech will do it for much less. Pay you? Why should we pay you? It's your program. Fix it. I had a hearty laugh. It's a freelance job I did for you literally 15 years ago. As you are the witness, it had worked well until this morning. Even if it was the product of a giant company, the support would have been dropped already. Think about it. Microsoft has dropped support for XP. You can't expect me to offer free support. We'll still want you to fix it. How much would you charge? I'm working for another company already. First, I'll have to ask for unpaid vacation. Then I bill all my expenses to you in addition to my rate per day. I doubt it will take more than a single day though. It's too much. I know. That's why I urge you to find a local tech and have him have a look. If it's proven that the problem is my code, I'll happily send you the source code. And then you may have it updated to your heart's content. I don't understand why the passage of time should change it. It's your program. You should fix it. It doesn't work like that. Anyway, I'll be awaiting your call from this number. He hung up, still muttering about how it's my program, and I should fix it for free. I'm dreaming about the future now. I wonder if I'll receive a call in 20 years, telling me about a faulty program of mine I coded in 2004. The last story is called Can't Print. I work at an out-of-hours service desk, supporting multiple businesses. This particular business is an educational institute, and this particular discussion took place between myself and a student. I got a call. "I can't print." "Okay, what actually happens?" "I just told you, I can't print." The caller's tone is very rude, and I've reached my tolerance by this stage. "Yes, we've established you can't print. What actually happens? What errors are received? What does the printer do?" "It tells me to top off my print credit, as I have a negative balance of $49. I didn't know what to say. "I'm sorry, I don't see the issue here. You'll need to clear the outstanding balance before you can print." "But I don't owe you any money." "Okay, are you saying this balance has been added to your account in error?" "No. Can you please explain what you mean?" "I was photocopying loads of personal pictures yesterday, and since then I have this balance. But I don't think I owe this, as I didn't get any warnings when photocopying." "But you are aware there's a charge for photocopying?" "Yes, of course I am." "Okay, so I don't see why you're disputing the balance. You used a photocopier for a large job, and as a result of this have a negative balance, which will need to be cleared, regardless of warnings or not. You still use the service at the end of the day, and need to pay for what you've used. You've just admitted you knew about the charge before using the service. I just need to print now. Okay, you'll need to clear the balance on the account first by topping up. But this is urgent. It's 11 PM. I'm not sure what you are asking me to do. If you want to print, you'll need to clear this balance by topping up your credit. But I don't owe you any money. You said you used the photocopiers? Yes. Presumably you have the documents you photocopied? Yes. So you have photocopied documents that you haven't paid for. The photocopiers should not be used for personal use either. What is it that you need to urgently print right now? I want to print a banner for a party. So again, you are using the printing facilities for personal reasons. In clear breach of the policy you agreed to. You've also called an IT emergency line and claimed this was urgent. Well, I didn't get any warnings. Thanks for calling. I'll report this to your school office for further investigation, but I'm unable to deal with this on the emergency line. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.